Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out HBAR's price chart. And unfortunately, despite what I believe in very short time indicating we may see a very small move on the upside, I don't really think overall we are seeing in here that much of bullish size. Why is that? Because if you remember the last time that we talked about Hedera, we were around these areas, and the idea was that if you are a fan of classic patterns, you can consider this thing as a beautiful looking head and shoulder structure, but the pattern we said at that point is not confirmed yet. We need to be a bit patient and see H-bar going under this neckline right in here, followed by that we do a pullback, and then we get a continuation of the move there. And as you can see, so far we are on track for that, but the job is not completely done yet, meaning there is still, I guess, some hope for H-bar. You see, if you want to be optimistic and you want to say maybe around here we are going to hit the low of our correction starting from the highs, okay, fair enough. Then what you want to see is from these areas a very strong move, a 1 2 3 4 5 without a lot of overlapping of the waves, in order to take this important high right in here for the first target around 27.5 cents. Now, why is this so important? Let's go around here, excuse me, there we go. You see, if you want to be bearish on any chart and you want to say that we probably have hit our final top, okay, fair enough. Show me off of the highest side a 1 2 3 4 5 wave down in order for me to flip bearish and argue, you know what, maybe this is actually our final top. Having said that, let's go on the left side. You see, in H-bar we can consider many different counts, but here's the thing. The moment that we see a move up from the current point in order to take this high, at that point, finding a 5 wave in this initial phase down is going to be extremely challenging, to a degree that it shouldn't probably be my primary case, suggesting what overall whatever move that we are having in here is probably going to be just a correction structure, and after it's over we can consider a continuation of the uptrend in Hedera in order to take the highest side in here for the first target around, let's say, 30.5 cents. But I think we are definitely going to go quite a bit higher than that. In fact, in my view, this might be very well just the beginning. And for example, you can say that from here, this is 1 2 3 4 5 wave up into a wave 1, followed by that a correction for wave 2. And what's next if this count is happening? A very good move up into wave 3 4 5. And you want to remember, in terms of Elliott waves, wave 3 is known to be quite a strong and sharp move on the upside. So if we're going to go according to this count, I promise you we are not going to stop just by taking the highs in here around the 30 cents area. No, we're going to go much higher than that. So overall, we are looking bullish. And even if in the short term you want to be optimistic, just wait a bit more and see a very strong bounce back. Now, in my primary case, we are probably not going to do that. And in my view, this might very well be just a simple pullback to the broken neckline right in here. And what's next? Probably a continuation of the move down. So if we see something like this in H-bar happening, in order to, especially in very short term, let's say in the next 48 to 72 hours, taking the lows down here about 21 cents, that is pretty much going to confirm that this head and shoulder is playing out, and we are probably going to have, I don't know, let's say another 15 to 20% on the downside. Now, do we have some more bearish signs? I think so, yes. Let's zoom in more and see what is going on. There we go. Let's actually start counting waves from this high, because I think this is 1 2 3 4 5, followed by an A, B, C on the upside, and this is probably yet another 1 2 3 4 5 wave down. And I think we may end up having in here either an ABC flat or maybe a WXY in form of a flat and a zigzag, generally some sort of a correction. And what's next? I'm gonna say probably another 5 wave down, in order for us to, on a higher degree, complete the sub waves for a beautiful 5 wave impulsive structure. And even that one on a higher degree might be into the wave 3 right in here, followed by a correction for 4, and then another move down into wave 5. Can we have some other counts? The answer is absolutely yes. But here's the situation. Most of the counts do actually indicate in Hedera we are probably headed lower, and the current move up shouldn't really be interpreted as like an extremely optimistic sign, as long as we are not proven otherwise. When is it that we are going to be proven otherwise? Again, we said it earlier, when we get a very strong bounce in order to take these highs for the first target. And as long as we are not seeing that, I think we need to be a bit patient and careful in Hedera. And finally, let's see one more. Okay, so here's the situation in Hedera. As you can see, in like very short term, we are having a low, the other one is a lower low, but on the live chart we are having a low, the other one is a higher low. So essentially this is a bullish divergence, suggesting maybe we are going to have a move on the upside. However, since I believe this is a correction structure, I'm actually going to wait a little bit more and see from these areas, or probably I'm going to argue a bit higher, a move down in order to get a break of the divergence line. And that could, from my POV, be a very important early bearish signal, suggesting, you know what, we are probably headed lower, and this move up is just a simple pullback to this head and shoulder structure. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Hedera. And by the way, I would like to apologize for my terrible voice. I caught recently a very bad cold, so it is going to take a couple of days for me to recover. And until then, you just have to bear with me. Anyway, until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.